Hey everybody, it's Charlie from DM Sound, and today we've got the sound system demo on the 2024 Mazda 3 and its 12-speaker Bose sound system. This is going to be an in-depth review. We're going to take a look at how the infotainment system works, take a look at audio inputs, adjustments, and controls, and speaker locations, and then we're going to test the 5.1 surround sound capabilities, and then go out on the road and listen to these sample tracks while we're rolling, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, if you don't care about any of that stuff at the beginning and you just want to hear the music, click ahead in the video. We've got chapters to get you right to the tunes. And if you want to hear even more on this system, sign up to become a Daily Motor member. Tonight I'm going to record a members-only sound test with tracks requested by other channel members. We're going to evaluate the system some more and have a little fun while we're doing it. So if you want to see more and support the channel, check the link below. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. The first time testing a Mazda 3 sedan. You'll have to apologize, it's parked in a little bit of a weird way here so that I can have the car in the shade so it looks better for the test. But yeah, we've tested a lot of Mazda 3 hatchbacks before, but I've been really curious to test the sedan, and sometimes sedans sound better than hatchbacks because of the nature of their cabin, so this might stand to be the best compact sound system on the market. So if you do want to see more on the Mazda 3, check the link below. This is the turbo model with all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, it is the top-level trim, but that's the only way you could get the Bose sound system. I have my qualms with that, considering this one's about $37,000. But if you do want to see more on the car, check the link below. We're going to run a fuel test. We're going to do an infotainment breakdown, a full review. All that can be found below. Now, we always do these tests with lossless, uncompressed WAV files on a USB stick plugged directly into the system, and high-quality Roland binaural microphones in both of my ears, giving you the most realistic audio system demo on YouTube. We also do the test with the sound settings set to their factory defaults, so let's take a look at those now. Now, admittedly, factory defaults is a bit ambiguous in this car because Mazda gives you a lot of customization for this sound system. In fact, Mazda and Bose really put a lot of effort into this system. If you go to the Bose website, it breaks down all the development that went in here, from the cowl-mounted speakers, and yeah, it's a pretty good system for this price point and for this class of vehicle. But if we hit the menu button here, go down into audio settings, we're just greeted with bass and treble. Now, I do take issue with the fact that in basic Mazda systems, you get a 12-band equalizer. There's tons of customization available to the EQ, but for some reason, in the Bose system, you only get bass and treble. So let's go through those two. Whoops. And I just accidentally skipped the track, which is a bit of an issue with this system with this volume control. Sometimes if you're being a little too particular, you'll accidentally change track. So let's scoot forward here. There we go. Back to settings. Here we go. Decent amount of adjustability there, but like I said, no mid-range. That's pretty disappointing. But then below that, you have adjustments for listening position, either all seats or driver seats. Let's go through both of those. If it's just you in the car, driver seat is going to time the system to sound the best from right here, so I'd recommend having that enabled. We'll go back and forth through our testing. Then you have a pretty straightforward front, rear, left, right, fader, and balance. And then you get into some of the Bose specific adjustments. So we've got the Bose stereo mode. You've got standard or linear. Linear is going to be a little bit more focused in front of you. And then standard is going to be a little bit more stereo around the cabin. We'll be going back and forth between both of those throughout our testing as well. And then you have 3 different levels of Bose Centerpoint. So what Centerpoint does is it takes a standard stereo 2-channel track and sort of artificially expands it around the cabin. Let's go through those. Now, because Centerpoint is using an algorithm to decide what sound should go through what speakers, some people are going to prefer it on, some people are going to prefer it off, and it might change from track to track and source to source. So be sure to mess around with that. Most of our testing is going to be with it off, but maybe in the members only test we'll play around with it on and off. And then you have Bose Audio Pilot, automatically adjusting the music to compensate for road noise. I'm probably going to have this off for the official test because we want to keep the true fidelity of the recordings, but again, we'll play around with it in the members testing. And that's it for audio adjustments. For audio controls here in the Mazda 3, you have a volume knob right here, which got very nice clickage. You can hear that. It's easy to get to from the rotary knob for both the driver and passenger. Driver's also got adjustments on the left side of the steering wheel. For track selection, like you saw earlier, you can adjust the track back and forth from the volume knob. Now, typically that's a nice, convenient way to do it, but some of the other manufacturers have a little bit more resistance on the volume knob to keep from those accidental adjustments happening, but overall, I think it's a good way to do it. You can also use the screen if you're in the proper menu with the rotary knob, or you can use the left side of the steering wheel right by the volume adjustments where they belong. For audio inputs here in the Mazda 3, you have your standard AM, FM, Sirius XM satellite radio. Let's confirm we've got HD radio support. There we go. For some reason, HD radio was not enabled in the settings, but I've enabled it, so we do have HD radio support there. Bluetooth, support for wireless and wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you've got 2 USB-C ports right down in here. So what does that mean you're missing? Well, there's no USB-A port, so be sure to carry an adapter like this one if you want to use USB. There's no 3.5mm auxiliary input jack, and I don't believe there's any sort of streaming service built in, so no Spotify. No Spotify, Pandora, or anything like that. Speaker locations. Like I said, this is a 12-speaker system. Starting in the bottom left, way up there in the cowl, you've got cowl-mounted bass speakers, 1. And then you've got a mid-ranger there, 2. Tweeter up top there, 3. 4 center speaker, kind of a mid-ranger there. 5, 6, 7 on the other side. Coming into the back. On the doors, you've got mid-rangers, 8 and 9. Actually, those are mid-rangers, and you got a little more like tweeters in the back lid here. 10 and 11, and then deck lid subwoofer making 12. All right, let's do a quick test of the 5.1 capabilities of this system. We'll use our immersiveaudioalbum.com 5.1 test track.
Welcome to the Immersive Audio Album Channel Configuration Test. Left. Center. Right. Left surround. Right surround. LFE. The Immersive Audio Album Channel Configuration.
All right, so no 5.1 support in here, but at least it takes that 5.1 and down mixes it properly. It doesn't mess up the LFE channel like we've seen in some other vehicles. Okay, I think we're ready to go test out these tracks on the road. every element in this sound system. They didn't need to go this hard. They did such a great job with the tuning, with the power. I will say the default tuning here is pretty bright. You're hearing a lot of that crispiness up in the trebles, and you're getting also a lot of drive from these lower cowl woofers. I personally like that. I could see how some people might complain that it's a little too turned up on the edges, but hey, just dial things down on the treble and bass there, and then you'll be in good shape. Also, I should point out that we are testing with the driver's sound mode on, bass treble defaulted out, zeros, and Bose stereo mode and standard and center point on 0. But I'll turn center point on for a little bit in 2 tracks from now during Muffin. But for this one, we're going to test out the bass, see how hard it thumps at full tilt. Okay. So I'm not getting a ton of mirror shakage from that rear subwoofer, but I'm getting a lot of near kind of mid-higher bass that's really satisfying. My thoughts on the 12-speaker Bose here in the Mazda 3 Sedan. First of all, I should say center point does sound better with some tracks. It just depends on what type of music you're listening to and really comes down to personal preference. It's fun to have it on or off. One like this, it was pretty cool with it on. But, as I said a little bit earlier, I'm just always so impressed by the Bose systems in these Mazdas. And you can really hear and feel the genuine care that went into developing the sound system in this car. I mean, kudos to not only the sound engineers, because I know they're capable of it in any vehicle. I mean, they did a fantastic job. But kudos to Mazda for putting the money and the effort behind making this such a good system. Now, it is kind of a bummer that you gotta pay for the top level trim to get this sound system, but it is a strong A-tier system. It's not the best out there, but I will go as far as to say this is the best sound system under $40,000 that I have heard. A lot of people ask me, hey, I want a realistic daily drive or something I can afford with the best sound system. This is it. This Bose system, I was able to listen to any song I wanted, cranked up, and really, truly enjoy it. I didn't want to get out of the car. It was that good. So big kudos to Mazda. Love the 3 sound system here. Not going to get quite as good with the lower trims, but if you step up to the Bose, you're in for a treat. So thank you all for watching. If you do want to see more on the Mazda 3, check the link below. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from DM Sound, and as always, drive on.